Hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show. Sorry I missed a couple days. I missed Monday and Tuesday. Kind of busy Monday with teaching the kids their technology course, so I was a little running behind. Still trying to get my morning program ready for that and getting up early. And I had to do a lot of work and prep for that and make some things and do more stuff that I didn't finish all during the weekend. What are you going to do? Anyway, 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show. Today, I want to talk about 10x your team with shared learnings or shared growth and how trading some short term, I want to say, performance for long term performance makes sense. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit and hopefully, talk you through the fears of doing that. And we're going to talk about that today on the 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show. And I'm Greg Messer, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, where we talk about Scrum and Agile in a very practical and tactical way. So you can bring more value to your customer, spend less time bringing that value to the customer, and have fun along the way. So what am I talking about? So many teams are so scared of doing process improvement that they want to do it because they're worried about it will hurt their performance of the team, or they won't get as much stuff done because they're so far behind because they started late anyhow and they need to catch up. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's very short-term thought process. And most Scrum Masters and teams that I've seen do that probably won't make the change for months at a time anyhow. And they're going to be not improving their process. So what my challenge is you really got to be able to say, you know what? Because let's say you have 10 people on the team. That's why I say 10X. And you take one person and says, you know what, you two are two people. And I want you two to share and work together on whatever story they're working on a sprint. And maybe you do for each story going in the sprint, you actually have them pair up. Oh, but if I have 10 people, I could do 10 different stories. Let's do 5 different stories. Let's get each 2 people at a time working on a story. And if you have developer and testers, make sure it's a developer and tester, maybe 2 developers partnering up with 1 tester or something like that on your team. Now, you may say you take a big hit. Well, I'm going to say you will and you won't, because when you have the 2 people, they start figuring out what could go wrong. If they do produce a product and there's bugs, you have 2 people in the next sprint to be able to work on the problem in case one person's out. There's so many risk reductions related to this. And then I'll also say within a year, you'll have an entire team that can work on any piece of product that's out there, pretty much. They may not be experts in a particular language or a typical setup, but they understand enough to get by, to lend a helping hand, to do some minor activities related to the item. And they develop a relationship on how they do stuff. And your code would be better because people will be able to read what other people are coding, because someone might say, why'd you write that? Or where's your comment? Oh, I don't quite get that. Can we put a comment line in there in case I got to see it in the future and repair it, or do some work, or use it on another piece of code somewhere else? Maybe we can add some comments and things like that. And you might not say something about repairing it because that could offend everyone, because it's my code's perfect. Okay, well, maybe I want to use your code somewhere else, and I'd like to have the comment in there so I could search for it and use it and tag it into some other product that I'll be working down the road. But what you have to get over is this fear of going slower to go faster long term, right? You've probably heard that term many times. There's lots of techniques. I can give you one where you take a story, you have 2 people team up on the story in each sprint. Maybe the same 2 people don't do it every sprint, but let's say you have a 2-week sprint, you have 10 people on the teams, that's 5. So within 5 sprints, 4 to 5 sprints, every person on the group has had a chance to team up with somebody on a story. That's a lot of learning process that can help you in the next 5 sprints get even better, because now they know how each other work a little bit. They have an idea. They see what teaming together can help solve a problem, even if it's just one little small problem, and they learn how to work together. It's tough to do. I'm going to say it right now. It's tough to ask that question. I even have problems sometimes asking that because I got a lot of pushback. But we got all this work. I don't know how many times I've heard managers and scrum masters and people that are in charge of people complain about the idea of getting, they'll complain either way. Let's just put it this way. They'll complain that they have no one to do a job, but yet they'll set it up where no one else could do the job but the one person they did it, right? So they're either going to complain that you have two people learning how to do a job, or they're going to complain that they only have one person and the person's out and they can't get the job done, right? What would you rather have? That the job not get, listen to the words, not get done or get done in the next year, right? Because most teams are there for more than 6 months to a year. You're going to be there, right? Unless you totally F up. Excuse me. But if you totally mess up and your team's really bad, or the company goes bankrupt and disappears by the time you start, is the only way your team's not going to be around, right? Or your team is so unhappy that people leave the team. These are a couple of choices. Either the company messes up and goes away, or your team's just that bad, or your team is not having any fun and they just want to leave because it's not enjoyable to work together, right? So there's like those three conditions where your team's not going to be around for a year. So you're worried about something in one little tiny sprint when there's 20, like if you do a 2-week sprint, there's 26 more sprints to go, right? And even if you took the first 5 sprints to build that 10x of your team where they all know each other, let's say you did 5, you still have 21 more sprints, 21 more sprints to leverage what you learned in those first 5 sprints. And I'll say maybe you start with one pair and they share how their experience was as a pair to the next group and see if you can get another 4 pair or 2 pair. And you expect, so it's really not 5 sprints. It really should only take like 3 sprints to get everyone having paired with somebody, learn how they code, get that joint coding capability. Then you can make some practice standards, some coding standards, some practices that each group can put out as one of their documentation items as they code. So that would be like a deliverable or a definition of done for these initial activities. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to 10x your team in the long run if you start this in the beginning, right? They may say, oh, I just want to work on my own. Why don't you work with somebody else so you can bounce questions off each other and find out the process? They might say, it'll slow me down. But we're not looking for super speed in the first sprint or two, or actually the first couple sprints. We're just looking for you to learn and ask questions and work with each other, work with other teammates as we go. So like I said, you do 2 people in the beginning, maybe 3 if you have separate testers. And then the next sprint, they share what they learned, do some documentation, and share what worked, what didn't to the next group of people. So now you got 2, then you get another 2. So now you got 4. Maybe you get 6. Maybe you get another group, and within 3 sprints, you have everyone have done pair programming. And I really truly believe that getting them to work together, and even if it's just to throw an idea up there and get a response from somebody else on the team, getting that habit because they're not used to that, because they're so used to working on their own, is a good habit to have, right? I got a question, I got this, give me a response, blah, blah. And they're comfortable with doing that because they're comfortable with doing it with their pairs. They're going to be more comfortable team. And I'm telling you, within 3 sprints, if you start with one group, have them talk about it in the sprint review, how to go, what did it work well, what didn't work well, and then you recruit another 2 or another 2 stories for 4 more people to work together, right? It's just something I want to share with you all. And you can even have the 2 people that work together have another 2 partners on the next story. So maybe those first 2 grab another 2. So now you have 2, and then you have another 4. So that's, what do we got? 2. They each got 2. So that'll be 4. And then you have 4 people, and then they all get another 2. The next thing you know, you have 8, right? So within 3 sprints, you have 8 other people that'll have learned to work with each other, and they grow as they go and get better as a group. And now you're at the 4th and 5th sprint. You're now doing this as a team, and they can just pick and call on each other as they want. So I wanted to share that with you as a way to 10x your team. I think I talked about this before, but there is a way where you can multiply or an exponential way the group working together and 10xing their performance. And you're gonna enjoy it more in the long run anyhow. So with that, I want to say have a great day. Coming soon is a book cover. I posted up on LinkedIn. I'll post it up. I got a book coming out. Well, I'm part of a contributing author to a book series. It's coming soon. So if you see on my LinkedIn page, or I think I put it on Facebook, I got to put it on Twitter. I got the book cover, so it's coming out, and I'll be sharing that soon. And I want to wish you all the best, and you all take care. Happy scrumming. Bye, and see ya.